Okay, so there you go. What I want you to do is copy number 3. Alright, so you had enough time. Let's go over number 3 now. A man is given a penny and he is told that for every night that he sleeps with that penny, oh no, it will triple, right? The man tries it the first night and the next morning notices that the penny did in fact triple and now he has 3 pennies. If he wanted to figure out how many pennies he would have after X amount of days, that's a keyword right there, right? After X amount of days, which one of the following expressions would give him his answer? Okay, so a man is given a penny, so on the first evening he only has 1 penny, right? And then every night he sleeps with that penny under his pillow, it will triple. So the next day, how many pennies does he have when he wakes up? 3. The next day he sleeps again. Now he has 3 pennies under his pillow. When he wakes up, how many does he have now? 9. Oh, okay. So now he has 9 pennies. He goes to bed. He wakes up in the morning. Now how many does he have? 27. So that's what it means. Tripling means, okay, every night you wake up, you're going to have 3 times as much. Okay? So then now, I want to find out at X nights, okay, how many am I going to have? This is evening 1. I'm going to go ahead and take you to a new page, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and create a table.
It says penny, not pennies.
Okay, so this is how many evenings, right? And this is how many pennies, okay? No, this is not how you spell it. Did I do it right? This is going to be so embarrassing and then I publish it and it's all wrong. Pennies, is it just pennies with a S? Anyhow, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I want to put X over here. First evening, we only had 1 penny. Second evening, 3. Third evening, 9. Fourth evening, 27. So then now tell me, on the X night, how many pennies do you think I'm going to have? What is the pattern here? Over here? Yeah, we are multiplying by 3 every single time, right? So to go from here to here, we multiply by 3. To go from here to here. And we already know this. But how am I supposed to express this? What's the relationship between the 1 and the 1, the 2 and the 3, 3 and the 3? This is an exponential function. Okay, so it's 3 raised to the x power, okay? Oh, x minus 1 power though. Okay? Wait, hold on, I gotta pause this. Okay guys, for question number 3, this part is really important. What does it say about the first night? The first night, okay, he has 3 pennies, okay? So when we go back to our table, after the first night, how many did he have? 3. So my table is wrong here, isn't it? I'm supposed to put 3 here on day 1. Aww. No, don't be mean now. Be mean later. Next year. Okay, so on the first night is 3, right? Because he slept with 1 and then he woke up with 3, right? And then it's 9 and then it's 27 because we're multiplying by 3 every single time. Because this man said, if you sleep with this penny under your pillow and wake up, you're going to have 3 times as many, right? And so we're multiplying by 3. So what's 27 times 3? Yeah, it's 81. Wow, thank you, class. Everybody just answered that so greatly. That's why this is my favorite class. Alright, so then now, after X evenings, how many pennies do you think we're going to have? Huh? Come on, you already know, I just told you. Yeah, it's 3 raised to the X power. Because look, if you have, on the first evening, you had 3 pennies. So that's 3 raised to the first power, and that's 3. Second evening is 3 squared. So 3 times 3 is 9. On the third evening is 3 raised to the third power. So that's why it's 27, because 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. On the fourth night is 3 raised to the fourth power. Okay? So eventually, your equation would be this one and this one is the same, this 2 and this 2 is the same, this 3 and this 3 is the same, and so on and so forth. And so that's why This is an x, so you're going to put x over here. All right? And so if you go back to the question, your answer is very easy. Which of the following expressions would give him his answer? Again, your final is a multiple choice test, so all you're going to say is 3 raised to the x power, and that's your correct answer. There's only one correct answer for this question. Okay? So now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and copy question number 4. Ready? Go. So now we're going to move on to question number 4. Sarah went to the grocery store and bought 3 loaves of bread and 2 gallons of milk for $12. And you know what I really want to do? Actually, what I wanted to do today, if you guys actually did your work yesterday, was remember the questions that you worked on? I was going to put them on the board so you guys can solve them. And you know, that would have been a lot of fun, and try and figure out who came up with the question. And then we could all be nice and be excited because, you know, it's our questions, right? So 3 loaves of bread and 2 gallons of milk. Now keep in mind over here, what does it say? Which system of equations below can be used? That means you don't have to know the answer. You just have to select the correct equation. Okay? So 3 loaves of bread and 2 gallons of milk for $12. And then 4 loaves of bread and 1 gallon of milk for $15.50. Alright? And they even tell you we want the bread to be represented by the letter B. And we want the milk to be represented by the letter M, right? Okay, shh. So now I hate doing this, but I have no space down here. So I have to take you to a new page. Are we done copying the question? Okay, so now we already talked about this. The B is going to be the bread, right? And then let's go back to the question. M is going to stand for milk. Okay, shh. And then let's see, it says 3 loaves of bread, okay? And then it says 2 gallons of milk, so that's 2M, right? And then we have to add them together. And how much was it going to be, guys? It was going to be $12, right? And then the next time when he went to the store, I keep going the wrong way, it's going to be 4 loaves of bread, so it's 4B and 1M, or you don't write 1M though, right? You just write 4B plus M, and that equals what? $15.50. Okay? So, there you go. We are done. Isn't that so easy? Come on, tell me that is so easy. Yay, thank you. And we are done, okay? So we're going to move on to the next question, okay? So I want you to go ahead and copy question number 5 now, okay? Ready? And this time, I want you to give me the answer. Raise your hand, and tell me what the answer for number 5 is. Again, you just have to find the equation. That's it, okay? Ready? Go. Okay, my favorite babies in the whole wide world. Let's move on to question number 5, okay? Shh. Joe needs to buy supplies, and this one I can actually write in here because it's so easy. At the store, balloons cost, and I always have to highlight. I saw that Jessica over there. She copied every single question, and she was highlighting everything, and that makes me so happy. The balloons cost 75 cents, and then the party hats cost $1.50. And Joe wants to spend how much? Exactly $30. If it's like at least or at most, then you know that it's an inequality. But it says exactly $30, you know that it has to do with an equal sign. And you know, they're very specific. They say they want the balloons to be B, and then they want the party hats to be H. Okay? So now with that information, let's go ahead and move on. Shh. So, if I buy 1 balloon, it's going to be 75 cents. But if I buy 2, it's going to be $1.50, right? That's because we multiply the number of balloons to the cost, right? And then if I add that to how many hats, I don't know, okay? But it costs $1.50, okay? And then I need to spend exactly $30. I am done. Alright, so now I want you to go ahead and copy number 6. I told you we only have up to number 7 today, right? So let's keep it up. Ready? Go. Okay, so for number 6, Troy signed up for a new cell phone plan, okay, which charges him a fee of $30. Well, we need to highlight, right? And that's one thing I like about the cheerleader, Jessica, because she highlights everything, right? Okay, so it's $30 per month, but then for each text messages is 3 cents, okay? And then they want you to use the letter T. Now, if Troy wants to spend at most, now this is really important, at most $80 on a cell phone bill, which inequality below can be used to determine? Because this is a multiple choice problem, it would say which inequality below, right? So you just have to select the correct ones, all right? Okay, so now let's take a look. Troy signed up for a new cell phone plan. Okay, so it's $30 per month, right? So you obviously have to pay for the $30, right? But then if you want to send a text message, how much is it going to be? Do you only send one text message? You know what I think? I think that you only send 5 text messages a month. You know why? Because you don't send any text messages to me, so you must be sending 0. Maybe you send one a month to your mom to say, Mommy, I love you. When I buy my son a cell phone, I'm going to require that he say, I love you, Mommy, every single day. Otherwise, I'm going to take his cell phone away. All right, so there you go. Oh, I was recording, man. Okay, so for each text message was 3 cents. 0.03. So if you only send one text message, I love you, Mommy, then that's going to be 3 cents. But if he sends it to me today twice, once after breakfast and then second after lunch, that's going to be 6 cents, right? How did I get that? I multiplied it. If he sent me 2 text messages, it will be 6 cents, right? So then obviously I would have to pay $30.06 for those 2 text messages. And then Troy wants to spend at most $80. What does that mean? He doesn't want to spend more than $80, okay? So Pac-Man's mouth has to be open towards the 80 because that's going to be the biggest number that he's ever going to have to pay. Okay? So then my son can still send me I love you, Mommy text messages how many times? Many, many, many times, right? And we don't have to calculate because what does it say? We're just trying to set up the equation, okay? So now I want you to copy down question number 7. Ready? Go. Okay, so let's move on to question number 7. And yay, this really makes me happy because there's a lot of space for me to write. Okay, so Emma, Emma wants to plant roses and tulips. Okay, so she wants to plant at least 70. When we see the word at least, we already know that this is an inequality, okay? But she wants to plant less than 35 tulips. Okay? So then they want R to be roses and T to be tulips, okay? So there you go. So I know I have to use R and T. So I'm going to plant roses and tulips, and it's going to be at least 70. That means what? The stuff over here, the roses and tulips that we plant together, has to be equal to or greater than 70. So the Pac-Man's mouth has to be open towards the roses and the tulips, okay? But she wants to plant less than 35 tulips, okay? So tulips has to be what? Less than. Not equal to, but less than 35, okay? And that's it. And we are done for the day, okay? Have a great day. Bye-bye.